Hi and welcome along to DR Sports. We're here for the roundup on a Monday and I'm joined by the hard-working Fuad. Fuad, big up yourself, man. Yo, listen.
As always,
back-to-back streams yesterday, yeah?
Busy day.
And I know what those are like, man. Those are tiring, man.
Bro,
but listen.
tired. I even had a podcast afterwards, but we
work. And a podcast after?
We work. Grind mode.
Hey, I like that, man. I like that. That's good. Putting the work in.
You see it?
Yeah, putting the work in.
Listen,
unlike your team.
Yeah, but I said, unlike my team, man. You took the words out of my mouth, literally.
Well, listen, you know the drill. On a Monday, we round up the weekend's games, and I can tell you, man, there was a lot of. It was all happening this weekend. All happening. Big game yesterday, what Fuad was covering, the Merseyside derby. I watched it. Incredible game.
Yeah.
Incredible talking points from that game. But you know what? We're not going to start with that. We're going to come to that because I know. First of all, you know what? I want to get a poll going. I want to get a poll going from early on that game. So when we come to it, I can kind of judge the mood without even saying where I stand or where Fuad stands, right? There's a penalty incident in the game for Everton. What's his name? The youngster? Gordon.
Yeah.
He was brilliant. Gordon's running through on goal and there's an appeal for a penalty.
Yeah.
Do you guys out there, did you think it was a penalty? Yes or no? We're going to revisit that. We're coming to it soon, right? Big game, important game for Everton, who were down there at the bottom and now in the relegation zone, and also for Liverpool, who were going for the title. Did you think that was a penalty that really could have changed the outlook of the game? Or did you think that the referee got that one right? Want to hear with you, right? So we're going to get a poll up, right? I think we're just sorting out some little audio issues at the moment. Is that right? We've got a little audio glitch, right? But tell me when the audio glitches. This is the beauty of live, right? It's fixed. It's fixed.
Everything's got to be live. You know what I mean?
Right. So, did you think it was a penalty or not? Right. We're gonna do a vote on it, right? And I really want to hear from you. But let's start off, right? Before we get to the title race, let's start off with the battle for the top four, because
it's getting interesting.
It's getting very interesting. Obviously, it was a good weekend for me as an Arsenal fan. Arsenal beating Manchester United by 3 goals to 1 at the Emirates on Saturday. That was like the early kickoff. And then it was over to Tottenham. Tottenham went away to Brentford, was never going to be easy, and it weren't easy. Game finishing 0-0. And
bro, 2 games.
Zero
shots on target.
2 games in a row, no shots on target for a team that's been scoring goals for fun. So let's start. We'll start off first of all with the Arsenal-Man United game. As a person who was watching it, you know, what did you make of it?
Honestly, very, very impressed with Arsenal in the sense of how they've reacted, to those 3 defeats. But then I think after that Chelsea win, you kind of think sometimes maybe coming off the high of an away result like that, you can kind of rest on your laurels and think, do you know what, we'll take the occasion type thing. But no, they really stepped up and treated it like a game of importance. And from minute one, Tavares setting the tone, the way you lot pressed them, kept possession. United looked so disjointed, they kind of played into your hand, but it just seemed like there was only one team up for the fight. And I walked away from that thinking, listen, top 4's is kind of Arsenal's to lose. I said, we've got to do what we can on our end, but if Arsenal finish 4th, I can't even be mad at it because I'm like, in the crunch moments like that, after 3 defeats is when a team's character's really tested, and they're seeing if you can really get that maximum out of them. They've shown. And throughout the season, I feel like they've had kind of the best spells of form out of those teams in the mix. They've been the most consistent. They've built an identity. If they now lose it, it's huge issues, I think.
I knew he put the pressure back on.
You know, I got to throw in a little seasoning.
Right. He showed about a few little nice things on. I knew there was something coming behind it.
Dagger somewhere. But now, for real, overall, very impressed. And I think that Xhaka screamer at the end there.
Oh, what a goal.
Epitomized that performance. Like, it summed it up in a nutshell. And I thought every man to a T performed. Arteta got his game plan spot on, and Arsenal look in the mood right now at an important time of the season as well.
Yeah, played. I'd say it was a good performance by Arsenal. it was one of those performances where we really, I'm like, we need to get a goal early to settle the nerves, and we got it. I actually predicted before the game it'd be 3-1, but I said it's going to be a very difficult 3-1.
Yeah.
The 3-1 doesn't tell the whole story, because if you're being honest, Man United, I think they played a lot better than we've seen them in recent games. I thought there'd be a better Man United than what played against Liverpool. They've been so heavily criticised that they couldn't. Surely. Yeah, they couldn't come out and put in a performance like that again. And also, Cristiano Ronaldo was back in the team, and he's just a difference. His 100th Premier League goal he scored in that game. 100. The guy hadn't even played in the Premier League all his career, and he's on 100 goals, and he took his goal brilliantly.
Incredible, and you got to give him even more credit as well off the back of what's happened to him over the last week, losing his son, and prayers to his family and everything. But to come back and still have that on your mind and still put in a performance, that takes an elite mindset. So credit
definitely,
to him,
and big up to the Arsenal fans that were.
For real, that was a nice.
That on 7 minutes we were all clapping him, and then straight after we started booing him again, because we know how dangerous he is. But the thing is, I think the game really turned. Right, because Arsenal were on top, winning 2-0, and I was looking at it, I was like, Arsenal playing some really good football, really brave, playing out from the back constantly, trusting themselves, backing themselves. But I keep saying this, right, with Arsenal, when you're 2-0 up, do you need to keep doing that?
It's a risky game.
Why not be a bit more conservative then? But they weren't, and then, they got that one goal back, and then after that, second half, United, I thought they were on top. They woke up and they were on top. But it all changed on the penalty. Now, Man United fans out there, I'm still baffled. I'm glad, because when Bruno stepped up to take it, I had a feeling he was going to miss. I'm like, why is Ronaldo not taking that penalty, right? Because I know Bruno scored lots of penalties, but a lot of that was last year. But Ronaldo, he scored a penalty against Arsenal earlier on in the season. Mm-hmm. I was like, why is Ronaldo not taking the penalty?
And supposedly, apparently, Ronaldo turned around and said he didn't want to take it, from what I've heard.
Yeah, he's not up for it.
He's not up for it.
Is what he told the manager.
I don't believe it. I'm like, Ronaldo?
Yeah, Ronaldo?
That's a guy who literally, he's just come in and scored off the back of the week he's just had. You look at throughout his career, he's never hidden away from responsibility. I think it might have been a moment of him saying, do you know what, Bruno, I can see you're low on confidence. I can see you're not in the greatest form. You've got a new deal. Let me give you some good PR. Go and score this equalising penalty for us. And get a little booster on yourself. And lo and behold, Bruno just absolutely fumbled it. And I think it just epitomises where his game is at the minute. Yeah. I think a lot of United...
And I saw for myself, I've heard a lot of Man United fans saying that Bruno is a whinger. And I saw it for myself, There was a couple of times where he'd actually made the error, but he'd be moaning at his teammates.
Arms up in the air.
Yeah. And then, listen, that was the turning point because, I think if United would have scored that...
2-2?
That'd have been, it could have been a sticky game for Arsenal, but then Granit Xhaka, an absolute screamer. And wow, what a goal.
That is an arrow, is what you call that. And especially after the interview as well, I feel like he gave to the Players Tribune, was it a week or two ago? He really said some stuff, I feel like, that he maybe needed to get off his chest. And I liked it as well, some real honesty. Footballers don't often give interviews like that. But I said... He maybe took a little weight off his shoulders in the last couple of weeks. He's playing a little kind of free almost. Dunked on Conte midweek. Then he said, Bruno, come let me snatch your soul on the weekend as well. Because Bruno was at fault for that screamer as well.
Yeah.
Listen.
Funny enough with Xhaka is that since January when he got that red card, I was so angry about that. I was like, what's wrong with this guy? And he's got no discipline as a senior player, right? Since he's come back after that red card, he's been very, very good. He's been one of, and it was very interesting. Over on AFTV, I was interviewing a fan after the game. His fan, he come from Israel, and I'll tell you what, he gave a brilliant interview, and he goes, Robbie, you know what? He goes, I think that over the years with Granit Xhaka, Arsenal have never really known where to play him. Mm-hmm. He goes, we played him as a defensive midfielder. He's not a defensive midfielder. We tried to play him as his box-to-box guy. He's not really a box-to-box guy. He goes, he's sort of that midfielder that plays a little bit further forward, like what he does when he plays for Switzerland, where he can attack, he can lay passes and that, but then can also get back in and drop in to help out the defence. I was like, that's a great point. So has Arsenal finally found the right position for him. That's really interesting.
I agree. I think
see.
that's definitely an aspect of it because his game definitely isn't a defensive midfielder type. He's far too rash and aggressive. He doesn't have the legs to be a box-to-box.
He's not got the legs for box.
He's always been able to kind of pick out a half-decent pass.
Yeah.
He can do some defensive duties, and I've always felt like if he has like a natural protector next to him, and listen, I'm not going to sleep on El Nenny's performance that game as well. I know he's a man who's, over the past 6 years, has had little moments in the wilderness, but incredible game. And I think sometimes when he's got that screener, it kind of gives Xhaka that little bit of freedom to do what he wants.
Anthony Gaming 67 with a super chat. He says, are we going to see a live stream between Manchester City and Real Madrid? We are. We've got a live stream for that. Also, we're going to see any Aussie rules football on the channel. Unfortunately, you know what? I was watching. You know what? I was watching a bit of Aussie rules the other day, bro, and I'll tell you, I can't understand it.
It's a nuts game.
That's a mad game. That's a mad aggressive game as well.
Handball, lacrosse, football, rugby, all mixed together.
You know what? You have to explain the rules to me, man, because I don't know the rules, man. Because it looks like there are no rules, right? And it's a mad rough sport, but and it's quick as well. But no, big up for that. And Sanjay said, Robbie, you should revisit your Premier League predictions at the start of the season. Pretty fun video. Lewis with major howlers with his overconfidence. We're going to do that. We're going to do that as well. I mean,
you lot are trying to set him up.
I think I also, at the start of the season, said that I thought Man United got a chance of winning the title. They're miles off it.
I'm telling you, those pre-season predictions always look crazy at the end of the year. Always.
Definitely. Keep those comments coming in. Loving all the comments that are coming up. And we're getting a load of them up on the screen, as you can see there. Fuad. So it was over to Tottenham in the game afterwards, the 5:30 kickoff.
Yep.
Tottenham knew what they had to do. They needed 3 points to stay, above Arsenal, right? But pretty poor performance again after losing last week at Brighton. Never easy to go to Brentford, especially Brentford over the last few games. They've hit form.
Yeah.
Remember, they went and beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge as well, put 4 past them. They've been really playing well. Christian Eriksen. I love the evasion that he got from the fans, the Tottenham fans. The same Tottenham fans who wanted him to go, by the way. When he's going to Inter Milan.
Don't muddy the waters. We love him. Hey, Eric, we love you, baby.
You love him now?
Come home in the summer.
But very disappointing from Tottenham.
Poor, man.
No shots on target for the second game in a row. When you're chasing down the top 4, actually in the better position at the moment.
Yeah, and honestly, I think we played 2 teams who I think system-wise match us up to nullify us the best in regards to wing-backs. If you look at, that's Conte's main strength and outlet. Brighton have some of the best wing-backs in the league. I feel like they've been playing that system. Brentford have shown this season they're more than capable. And I think Thomas Frank copied kind of what Potter did last week, I feel like, in, you know what I'm going to do? Nullify the wing-backs and sit, what Basuma did last week, sit in front of Kane and shut that down. He literally had his players sit in front of Kane this week and shut that down. 3 centre-backs behind him. You stop Kane, you pretty much stop Spurs' entire attack. That's our creativity. That's our assist. Son, spoon, feeder. Like, everything goes through him. So I feel like the wing-backs were offering nothing. And if our front 3, which we've pretty much hanged our hat on since January, if they're not firing, we absolutely struggle to create, struggle to keep the ball, and that's what we look like, a disjointed team. And I think the last 2 games have kind of shown a little bit that Conte, needs to find a B plan for when things aren't going right, because I was disappointed with him this week as well a little bit. In that first sub, when I thought, you should be going for the game, we're not creating. You bring on Davinson Sanchez.
Yeah, I thought that was a strange one as well.
Sessegnon and you bring on Sanchez.
Yeah, I thought that was a strange one.
This is the time to bring on Mora, maybe Bergwijn, maybe a midfielder, switch up the formation a little bit. So I'm all for him having an identity and a formation set, but have a B plan for when we're not being that fluid team and teams have kind of figured us out a little bit. And I think that's the problem as well. We've been on a nice little tear the last couple of weeks. The bubble had to burst at some point. Now it's a case of how do we react in all honesty.
It's all about momentum, isn't it?
100%.
I mean, you know,
a week ago it was completely different.
Last week Saturday, Arsenal lost to Southampton. That was like 3 defeats on the bounce. I'm like, it's over.
Yeah.
Right? It's over. And then Tottenham go and lose to Brighton. I'm like, well, actually, despite the whole, it's not over. You know?
And credit to Brentford as well, because they
were very unlucky.
Past Chelsea the week before, then came to us and said, listen, We're no slouches over here. And I thought the wing backs were incredible. Tony was a handful. Ericsson was brilliant. Their defense was brilliant. Like
hit the bar twice, Tony.
Hit the bar
very
twice.
unlucky.
And they were very unlucky. Provided Lloris didn't pull off some big saves.
Yeah.
It would have been honestly curtains for us. I was glad to walk out of there with a point. But now with the last 5 games, I feel like this squad's character is gonna be at a stretch.
Yeah.
And of course, there's talks about Conte and things happening about his future. There's
a lot of talk today linking Conte with PSG.
Listen,
now could we be seeing a swap
for
Conte leaving PSG and Pochettino coming back to Tottenham?
It's mad.
Could you see that?
I can see it happening. This is the worst thing.
Would you be up for that as a Tottenham fan?
Whether I'd be up for it is a whole different ballgame, because I'd be disappointed first and foremost. Because if Conte walks away, what that's saying to me is he's walking away because we're not backing him. We're not giving him the backing to say, you're a quality manager, you've shown us what you can do in 6 months, but we're not going to give you enough money to change this and make this a serious team. Now you're going to have Poch walk back into that situation, which, let's be honest, was the same situation he walked away from. Because he said they weren't backing me 4 years ago. Nothing's changed since. So I'll look at Poch with a little bit of a funny lens and saying, why are you walking back in here? But I can see it happening because for him, it could be a safe option. Do you know what? It's a club that will take me. I know I have a bit of longevity there. Conte, though, if he leaves, that is egg on Spurs' face. That should be the moment every fan is pulling up at the stadium trying to burn it down. Because I'm sorry, you do not look a gift horse like Conte in the mouth. A manager who's world-class, won the league title last year, has shown what he can do in 6 months, and then now you're telling him, no, we're not going to give you the 4 or 5 players to actually solidify a top 4 spot. If the last 2 weeks aren't evidence that this squad needs improvement, I don't know what is. Those wing-backs are shocking.
By the way, he's not purporting that you should go there and burn it down.
I'm not. I don't promote arson, but I'm just saying, we protest, we make some noise.
Oh, that was an Arsenal fan. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say anything either. You know what? On the PSG thing, digressing slightly, right? Yeah. I don't know if you saw that at the weekend. I've never seen this before. So, PSG, they won the title in France, right? But their fans, what they did is they walked out before the end of the game, right? So they said they did it as a deliberate thing. They said, we're going to walk out before the end of the game so those players will celebrate on their own.
Yeah.
So basically, the players were not able to, do a lap of honor and, show the trophy and nothing like that. They just literally, all the fans walked out because they're still, even though they won the title, they're still unhappy at the way they exited from the Champions League.
Rightly so, in my opinion. I'm sorry, but PSG fans are not going to be impressed by a league title that they've won 8 out of the last 10 years. Like, you're bringing a title that you failed to deliver last year, basically, that you lost to a Lille team. That, I don't know where they are this season, but they're not competing for the title.
They're in the mud this season.
Yeah, and I just feel like everyone might be looking at it like, oh, they don't like Poch or whatever. No, they were booing Messi the other week. They were booing Neymar the week before
they do
that.
want Poch. I don't think the fans are, speaking to Parisian in London, and we've had him on a couple of times, and he's not been.
It's a real mess.
He's not been overjoyed with Poch, but then he's also said that it's not just Poch.
Yeah,
it's just like the whole way that club's run.
Yes, I think PSG
which is crazy when you consider the players they've got, the money they've got. It just goes to show, bit like with Manchester United, it is not just all about the money. And United's, announcing Ten Hag's appointment before the game and all these little things.
It's how the club is run. And PSG, I'm sorry, 10 years now they've been waiting for a Champions League and they always fall at some hurdle. They're not going to be impressed by a league title they've won many a times. These PSG fans want to see more. They've seen so much money thrown at it. They've seen so many superstars thrown at it. And still, the big one they're chasing still hasn't come. Yeah. At least for City, it's even different because the Premier League is competitive.
Yeah,
there's some pride to winning that.
Yeah, very true.
PSG is secured by January.
We're done. Very true. In the top 4 race, of course, West Ham have been involved in it as well. But West Ham faltering as well.
Unlucky yesterday, I thought.
And I think we're starting to see the problems that West Ham have is that they just don't have the squad. They've got that big game that they've got coming up on Thursday night, the semi-finals of the Europa League, which could also be their route into the Champions League. But they play Frankfurt. That's not going to be an easy game. Remember, Frankfurt, they did beat Barcelona. I think a lot of people are forgetting that over 2 legs, right? So they've got to play Frankfurt. And you saw against Chelsea yesterday, they were resilient. but they had to rest players. They had to put Declan Rice on the bench. They've also got a lot of injury problems, right, in defence. I mean, virtually the only fit defender centre-back they had yesterday was Craig Dawson, and he got sent off. That means he'll be missing for the Arsenal game. That means literally they could have no centre-backs for that game. I mean...
It's a tough one.
And they were very... I mean, another missed penalty in that game, and another... guy, Jorginho, with this little hop, skip and jump penalty, just like Bruno. His was even worse than Bruno's.
They were so unlucky yesterday, I felt like West Ham. Because as you said, they played a heavily rotated squad. I felt like...
No Antonio,
no Bowen, no Rice. And as you said, no centre-backs as well. And I thought, do you know what? West Ham really gave a good go of it. Whether it was keeping Chelsea down to a minimum. And Chelsea didn't create much themselves. But up until about 85 minutes, I thought West Ham deserved a point out of that. And then comes the penalty, which I thought, man, Dawson, you pretty much went from what I thought was a man-of-the-match performance. He put his body on everything yesterday. You went from hero to zero in a minute, literally. But then, as you said, Jorginho misses that, and you're thinking, all right, lifeline, you've escaped here. And then, boom.
Pulisic.
Out of nowhere, Pulisic.
And a massive goal.
Alonso was threatening down that left side throughout the whole game. It was only kind of a matter of time before Chelsea's quality kind of showed. But as you said, I think the depth at West Ham is now starting to show, and that's why they've kind of faded out a little bit.
Again, their fans were complaining about it in January when they didn't sign anyone.
And they had new owners coming at that time as well.
And if they go out of the Europa League, right, which, I want them to, I don't want them to. I would like to see them get to that final, right? But if they go out of that Europa League, now when you look on it, their chances of getting into the top four starting to look very slim. Even the Europa League, it's not going to be easy even for that. They could miss out on, because they didn't strengthen the squad.
I don't think that's cause for concern at West Ham, though, because genuinely, if I'm a West Ham fan, I'd be very happy this season that we're even competing in the European spots whilst playing in Europe.
Yeah, but their owners give them a good chance
they didn't, but I'd take away more positives than I would negatives, because I know you're thinking, they maybe just missed out, but at the start of the season, you wouldn't have predicted West Ham to finish above any of those teams, let's be honest.
True.
They shouldn't even be competing there. The fact that they had Europe this year on top of that, usually when West Ham have Europe, they plummet and fight relegation the next year. They're actually competing for European spots. I feel like 2 seasons, if they qualify for the Conference League as well, maybe that's an even better chance at winning a trophy next season.
At the start of the season, but now it's a bit like with Arsenal, right? Like at the start of the season, I didn't think top 4. I looked at the teams and I'm like, I don't think Arsenal will get top 4. Look at all my predictions. I say that I don't think we would. But now we got a great chance of getting it. I'd be disappointed if we didn't, right? So I'm just saying that those owners, they knew in January they're doing well in the Europa League, and they're doing well in the league.
It's a shame.
Strengthen a bit.
Yeah.
They ain't buy anyone.
I agree.
This is madness.
There definitely should have
and
been.
And they know they've got
signing.
players like Antonio, injury prone. They know they'd lost Agbona, who'd been excellent at the start of the season. He was out for the season. They know Zuma, he's a very combative, centre back. Players like that do get injuries. It might be, looking at the top 4 race now, Wolves also lost, and we'll talk about them losing to Burnley, but Wolves are out of the top 4 race now for me. 49 points, down in 8th place. West Ham, 52 points, played 34 games. They're in 7th. Manchester United in 6th. They've played 34 games, 54 points. That means they're now 6 points off Arsenal in 4th. And they've played a game more. Tottenham played 33 games, the same amount of games as Arsenal. They're in 5th on 58 points, just 2 points behind Arsenal, who are in that 4th place now on 60 points, have played 33. Big win for Chelsea, because if Chelsea hadn't have won that game, Arsenal could be hunting them down. But now I think they're starting to look like that 3rd place is secure for them. They played a game less as well, 65 points. It's looking like a shootout, a North London shootout, isn't it? Tottenham or Arsenal to get that place. Because I think Man United now, 6 points off it, played a game more than both of those two teams in front of them. I think they're out of it. I think that was their nail in the coffin on Saturday. I think West Ham, they're now 8 points off of Arsenal, and then they've got to play Arsenal next week.
Yeah.
They're probably right in the middle of that Europa League game. So they might have to rest the Bowen and Antonio and these guys again. They're not going to have Craig Dawson. They might not have any established centre backs in that team. That might not be an easy game for them. They might be, their eyes there might be just like, listen, let's just focus on trying to win this Europa League semi-final.
Yeah.
It's Arsenal versus Tottenham, isn't it? It might boil down to that
North
game.
London derby coming up, baby. Put your chips on the table.
It's going to boil down to that game by the looks of it, isn't it? Couple of weeks' time, Arsenal going to play Tottenham. I mean, let's look at...
It's crazy to think, though. United have a +2 goal difference at this stage of the season as well.
Shocking.
Mad.
Shocking. Right, let's look at the games that are coming up, right? So for Spurs... Their running consists of this. They go to play. You got Leicester.
Yeah.
On Sunday, 2:00 kickoff. Again, you go earlier. Arsenal will be on the same day. We'll be playing West Ham away. You got Leicester at home. You got a good record against Leicester at home, haven't you?
Yeah.
Then you go away to Liverpool. That is a tough game. Nobody wants to go to Anfield.
Hey.
Right. Followed up by Arsenal at home, right? Big game.
That week there, from the 7th to the 12th, is where everything gets decided. Yeah. Liverpool, if we get slumped there, well, the North London derby is going to be a scene. That's all I'm saying. Everything is going to be on the line for that game. Because as you said, we're both level on points, 2 points behind. It's a win or nothing when it comes to that game.
Then after that, right, I looked on it and I said, the last 2 games, if you get beyond that, looking anything half decent, you're home and dry. But you're home and dry with the last game because you've got Norwich away. You're home and dry there. But the game just before that, Burnley, a resurgent Burnley, it is at home, but that won't be easy either, innit? Because they're going to be probably going head-to-head with Everton.
I'm hoping by then that they'll be safe. They'll just be willing to say, you know what, all right, we'll roll over for you boys.
The running's not easy for you guys now, isn't it? Because, again, because you've slipped up against a couple of the teams that on that running, you thought, yeah.
We cannot afford to lose any more games from now till the end of the season. I think one more loss, maybe
even
2
the
draws.
Liverpool game.
Even the Liverpool game, even. I genuinely think that's you lot the advantage. We're at that stage of the season where you cannot afford a single mistake now. And...
Yeah, but we know that. We know the 2 teams involved in that shootout are
they love
liable
it.
to
They love it.
Right, this is Arsenal's running. Arsenal have got West Ham away next week Sunday. But as I said, has it kind of fallen a little bit for Arsenal in the fact that it's right in between West Ham with that big double-head Europa League game. It's kind of fallen a little bit for Arsenal going away to West Ham. And plus, West Ham have been kind of faltering recently. Then, the following Sunday, Arsenal at home to Leeds. Leeds, still in a relegation battle. They're playing tonight. Could be kind of... I think if Leeds win tonight, they're starting to look like they're going to be...
holiday mode.
But they're still kind of involved in it. Then, the game against Tottenham on the 12th of May. Massive game. And then the last 2 games... Newcastle away, that won't be easy. Newcastle have been playing very, very well. And the last game of the season, Everton at home. Everton may need a victory in that game to stay in the division. So even though you look at some of those games and on paper you think, well, the Tottenham game's a tough one, but the other ones, those are not easy either.
Potential banana skins.
Skins there. So it's going to be a very, very interesting... race for that top 4. And I personally think now, after the weekend, it is a straight shootout between Arsenal and Tottenham. One of those North London teams are going to get that top 4 place. You agree?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And I think rightly so as well for, I think, Tottenham, how they've recovered this season after the awful start as well. And I think Arsenal, having been arguably the most consistent side in that pack, it's a nice kind of duality of forms, basically. And I think, hey, put your chips on the line for the last game of the season.
I don't think I could handle it, right?
As
As an Arsenal fan, I'm not sure if he goes down to that game at Tottenham, I don't know, man. I don't think.
This is what
I've already had too much stress this year, man. I don't think I couldn't handle it. Please.
Because it's like after this incredible season of building this identity, we've built the defense, youngsters coming through, and all of a sudden, bow! We come and take it.
we had a good record at. We had a good record at your place, but having said that,
a draw would be enough. A draw would be enough for you lot there.
Maybe. And as I said, you know, I mean, you look at some of them other games. You know, what I mean, Everton, you know, at home, last game of the season, they're fighting for their lives. I mean, that won't be easy either. So it's going to be interesting. Anthony Gaming 67, he was the one who asked you with the super chat about the Aussie rules, right? He says in the AFL there are 4 quarters. You can handball, kicking, tackling when the normal season finished in the top 8. Only the top 4 to get double.
You confuse us even more.
I'm even more.
You confuse us even more.
Listen, you might have to fly over and host that watch along if we're doing that, right? Because I don't think I'm going to understand the rules. That was a top 4 battle. But let's now talk about the race for the title. Man City, they did their job. Everybody expected them to do their job. They played Watford.
Easy.
Gabriel Jesus with 4 goals in the game. Now, it's really interesting is that on my way to the Arsenal game, there's a lot of discussion going on amongst Arsenal fans because a lot of the talk is that Arsenal are the front runners to buy Gabriel Jesus. And I remember saying before the game, and this is before he scored the 4 goals, right? I was saying to people, I was going, yeah, I'd have him. I'm like, you know what? I think he's a good player.
Yeah.
I think if he gets more game time, he'll do well. But, I said,
What's the but?
He can't be our main striker. I look at him as a forward. Yeah. You know, like now you look at Spurs, right? They've got like loads of, Liverpool. They've got loads of forward players.
Who can all play across the front.
All correct. I look at Gabriel Jesus. He's not a target man. He's not a target man.
Yeah.
He's not a number 9. But I'd have him. And then after that, he goes and scores in 4 goals. I'm like, the prices have probably gone.
You know what? Pep coming out afterwards saying, yeah, I really love Jesus. And I know Pep has always had a soft spot for Jesus, so I don't think that'll be the easiest move.
He works his socks off as well, doesn't he?
But I do think definitely what you said there, I think he's a great fit for Arsenal. Like him, Xhaka, Martinelli, I think that's the kind of frontline Arsenal fans have always kind of dreamed of.
A few Brazilians in the team as well. So.
Yeah, and I don't think, the only thing is I don't think he's as prolific. So I agree there where he can't be the main guy where you're expecting 20 goals a season.
Yeah,
but I think
RZ says he's only 25 as well.
Yeah, I think he's a quality player though, definitely for sure. And you lot would be very smart. Instead of Calvert-Lewin and Tony and all these other names I hear you lot linked with, that's the kind of name.
Well, I think he, you know, if he did come, it can't just be him. You know, what I mean, it's got to be. We still need a
him and Gnabry
striker.
Run that back, baby. Because Gnabry's saying apparently he wants to leave as well. Bayern Munich.
Well, him and Gnabry, I'd have that. But how much is Gnabry gonna? He'd be very expensive. But I'd have
got 1 year left on his deal.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah,
talk to me.
I saw him being linked. I saw him being linked with Tottenham as well. I was like,
whoa. After what he did to us in our 7-2, no, I'm not trying to see him.
And then after that, he posted London is red. You know what I mean? So
I don't want to see him.
But but you know, they got their business done, Man City. You know,
and they have to.
A very good win for them. You know what I mean? And we expected that. And then it was all over to Liverpool. The pressure back onto Liverpool. Playing against Everton, Merseyside derby, you know, listen, everyone expected Liverpool to win because Liverpool have got a great record in these Merseyside derbies, right? However, Everton put up a good fight. You know what I mean? They sat deep, tried to frustrate. You know, I don't know if you saw that time when Pickford got the ball and did that little. By the way, Alisson's response to that later on was brilliant.
Collapsed on the ball. I said, yeah, he's too funny.
But they gave Liverpool a really tough time.
Yeah.
Now, again, the game, a big talking point in the game, right? VAR, which by the way, VAR was being used left, right, and centre over the weekend. A lot of VAR in the Arsenal game as well. But this one, VAR didn't even get involved in it. Actually, you know, I know we're talking about VAR, but the VAR I think should have got involved in this one, but it didn't. Where do you stand on it? Was
100%.
that a penalty? I haven't got the poll up yet.
Yeah.
I'm going to get the poll up to see. Did you think that was a penalty? Gordon running through, Matip.
Yeah, I thought it was a stonewall penalty. For me, he makes no intention to play the ball. And I know people say, oh, it's a 50-50 shoulder barge. I'm sorry, let's be honest. We don't see 50-50 shoulder barges in football anymore. And especially in them positions, when the attacker's got the advantage, you're meant to give the attacker the benefit of the doubt.
He's on the wrong side, isn't he?
Yeah, he's on the wrong side of him, doesn't make any attempt to play the ball and knocks the man over. I'm sorry. The reason why I think it might not have been given was because Gordon was maybe booked for diving earlier. There was one or two moments earlier in the game where the ref was like, get up. Nah, I'm not giving that. So it was just the ref maybe in the derby moment thought it's a high passion game. Let's just kind of get on with it. But in my eyes, stonewall penalty. And I think Lampard was spot on with what he said after the game as well. If that was Salah and that was on the other end, that gets given. And I'm not even disputing
All
that.
day long.
All day long.
What's that? 61% of you saying that they felt that was a penalty. I felt that was a penalty as well. It was a stonewall penalty. I could not believe when it wasn't given.
Yeah.
Right? And now, where are VAR? Surely VAR should be sending the referee to go and have another look at that. That's, in my opinion, they should be saying, go and take a look.
It just makes no sense.
And when you're a team like Everton, that you're fighting relegation, that could have changed the game.
Yeah.
That they are now been on the end of two horrific decisions when they've played the big teams, right? Remember Man City?
Yep.
With the handball.
Yep. Got done dirty as well there.
Yeah.
And when you're, they always say, when you're in these relegation scraps, you get no luck whatsoever. And that's what it seems like it's happening to Everton. Mind you, they haven't created any of their own.
True, but those two decisions could send them down. Because I reckon the way Everton were playing, if they went 1-0 up, I think they would have got out of there with at least a
They
draw.
had chances as well. When Gordon flashed it across the face of the goal to Iwobi, when Decore broke through on the right side as well. Like, they had a few moments where I thought, do you know what, Everton actually deserved to walk away from them. And even Doyley yesterday was saying how that is probably the hardest 3 points Liverpool have had to fight.
Yeah, no, they had
season.
to fight, and they had a helping hand from the referee. I don't care what no one says. Liverpool fans out there, I want to see you in the chat. I want to hear from you guys. Honestly, did you think that was a penalty or not? I thought pen.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, because you think of it, if that was on the other end, Liverpool fans would have been calling all day for that. So I don't see how.
Like you said what Frank said. You know what I mean? If that's Salah.
On the other end, 100%. And it would be, oh, it wasn't given. No. We need to go to VAR to confirm it was a pen. And it's like, I don't know. We always see it with these kind of big teams get favoured, people say, or whatever. But I genuinely think that was a moment where Everton kind of got done dirty and they deserved to actually walk away from the game.
You made a good point because he did go down earlier. He got done for diving earlier, right? But then if it's another dive, send him off then. It should be another yellow card if it's a dive.
It's true.
Right?
And that's the thing as well. It's if it is a dive, you should be booking him. But I definitely think that plays a part.
But do you think that sort of got into the head of the ref that, you know what, these men have been, because then you got that other, Richarlison. All it takes is
Don't get me started on
you breathe on that guy, he falls over.
Don't get me
You know what I mean? So
that guy,
I don't know, but that was a penalty for me. I mean, I'm sorry.
I can't even lie. Richie should have been sent off yesterday as well when he put his studs on Henderson and decides to shove him through his knees.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Richarlison is one of the scummiest players in the Premier League, honestly. It gets overlooked, but Everton were unlucky yesterday, I thought, definitely for sure.
But a massive win for Liverpool. And it was the two subs that changed the game. Diaz and Divock Origi.
Bro, quality. Like, Klopp got it right, definitely, with the subs yesterday. Because first half, they looked like they had 85% possession, I think it was. But couldn't hit a barn door or create anything. And then as soon as he brought the subs on, Divock, little 1-2 with Salah. Good little cross from him as well. And then Diaz, there was one moment where he took a touch.
He controlled that ball. Oh my God.
Mate.
To think he could have gone to Tottenham.
Oh, my God. I was oozing in that chair yesterday. I was
that was like, I was like, this guy, I was thinking to myself, this guy, he must think he's Doyle.
Bro.
He's doing free, literally. And the thing is about it, right? You see footballers do techers in a game.
Yeah.
But it's 0-0.
Bro, it's 0-0.
In a game like that, right? And you still, what a player. You pay your money to see players like that, innit?
Facts. That is what fans pay their money to go to the stadium to see. Trent, hit that ball 70 yards across and watch me bring this down like this. Technique on another
I'm weird
level,
like that, right?
man.
In that, like, even as an Arsenal fan, right? If I'm playing, Arsenal playing against a team,
Yeah.
if I see the opposition guys, they're doing
something mad
I'm
like
like, yeah, listen.
Fair play. You
Yeah.
just got to respect it.
I love watching good footballers
Yeah.
play, man. It's as simple as that.
Diaz is going to
What
be
a
an
baller.
exciting one to watch for a couple of years, man.
Yeah.
As someone dropped a comment on the live stream yesterday, as well, which I thought was very interesting. He almost seems like a baby Suarez. And I said, you know what? I can hear that. The technique, the dribbling ability, the unorthodox kind of playing style.
And he's aggressive with his play
aggressive as well. Like, I like the kid a lot, man. I can't wait
What
to
a
see what he
signing
does.
he's been, and that was a massive. And Divock Origi, by the way.
Listen, Divock and
Anytime
Everton,
you need a big goal, send for
especially against
Divock.
Everton in the Merseyside derby, he loves that fixture,
Yeah.
and once again he pops up, man. We were talking yesterday, one of the most clutch players in regards to super subs. We got to respect Origi, man. He's been doing this thing for a long time now.
Probably won't be at Anfield come the end of the season, they're saying.
Probably not, and I think it's
Might
time.
move on.
It's time, though. I think he's done the super sub role for long enough.
To get a big move, do you think, or do you think any of the big clubs will look at? Because I've heard him, for instance, mentioned before Arsenal, and people are like, Origi,
Nah.
like he's
Honestly,
and
no.
he's actually, Jurgen Klopp was saying he thinks he's the best finisher in the club. I don't know if he's just saying that
Of
because he's just
course.
trying to massage his ego because he realised that he's always having to come off the bench. But this
I don't
guy
think-
there 6 times says Lord Divock. They love him at Anfield as well,
Listen,
don't they?
cult hero is what he is over there. Definitely a fan favorite, but I don't think a top 6 club would be ideal for him. I think there's too much pressure, for him to score goals, and there'll be that demand for him.
Yeah,
I think
a lot of people in the chat saying that AC Milan apparently the favourites.
I wouldn't be surprised.
signing.
Somewhere like that. If he went foreign, I think somewhere decent like that. If he stays in the Prem, I think somewhere mid-table, I don't know, maybe a Brentford alongside Tony or something. Burnley if they stay up, maybe Everton if they stay up. Somewhere around there, I think he can get a nice 12, 13 goals a season. But AC Milan, that would be a great
But you know
move.
what? Somebody like Divock Origi, I'd say to if you're a Man United fan and you're looking at Divock Origi, right? I'm not saying for Man United to buy him now. I'm just saying, well, not even your fans, your players. They need to look at a player like Origi. That guy's attitude. He's been sat on the bench literally his whole Liverpool career. But any time he is called upon, and I think El Neni, I'm going to give El Neni in that bracket as well. And you guys might be able to name some other players in the Premier League. That these guys sometimes, they're on the bench. But any time they're called upon, they deliver.
Ready.
They don't moan, they don't whinge. They don't throw their toys out the pram if they're substituted early. They don't come off and throw the bottle down.
Yeah.
You need guys like this in your squad. You need players like this. That's what United don't have right now.
100%.
They don't have that.
100%. It's guys with character and guys
Yeah.
who are putting the team over themselves. And listen, Divock's been one of those guys who I think 6 or 7 years, how many times have you heard him come out and say, I want to leave Liverpool or I want to get first team minutes? No. His thing has been, I'm getting my chances. I'm taking my chances when I get them. And I'm winning silverware along the time. And even Pep does that with a lot of the City
Yeah,
players. I
John
feel like.
Coates just said John Stones is another one.
I was just about to say John Stones, Jesus even.
Jesus, yeah.
Jesus, you won't see him for 6 months. He'll pop up, score 4 goals. But I love it when guys stay ready to step up when that moment comes. Not, I'm down my tools because I'm not playing. And then when I play, I look like a fish out of water.
Yeah, and what a performance by Andy Robertson in that game as well for Liverpool.
Quality.
I mean, goal and
Matip
also,
as well.
and also he made some important clearances as well.
Yeah.
Sada says, what do you think? This is for you, Fuad. He says, what do you think of reports saying Conte is interested in the PSG job? Do you think he will stay, and will it have any effect on the players? Well, we kind of spoke about that on earlier, Sada. You might have missed it, and you're saying that you think you wouldn't be surprised if that happened.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. It all depends on how we approach the summer. If we back him, he stays. If we don't back him, I'm not surprised to see him walk. I wish him all the best.
And Chris is saying Arsenal could go into the North London derby 5 points ahead of Spurs if they win their next 2 games and Spurs were, say, for instance, to lose to Liverpool.
Yeah, and that's the facts of the matter.
It's going to go down to the wire, that. It really is going to go down to the wire. Who is going to win the title? The two of them are just... Can you see any of them losing? I mean, let's just have a look at let's have a look at their run-ins, right? So let's start off first of all with Liverpool. So Liverpool's run-in is this. Obviously, they got the Champions League against Villarreal. Next weekend, they go away to Newcastle. As I said, not easy going away to Newcastle right at the moment. They're playing well. Bruno Guimaraes, what a baller he is. Joe Linton as well showed up.
Saucing.
Right?
Listen, Joe
Scored
Linton.
a couple of great goals, Joe Linton.
We need to give Joe Linton some flowers. The way he's been able to revolutionise himself from the bozo who couldn't hit a barn door wearing the number 9 to now he's playing left wing, scoring screamers, box-to-box midfielder 1 week. And that little Brazilian link-up he's got Bruno. I give Eddie Howe
Joe Linton and Granit Xhaka there going, you
laughed at me.
Ballers, yeah?
You're not laughing at now. Bro, credit to him. Man.
Yeah, credit to him. But yeah, they go away to Newcastle. 12:30 kickoff, early kickoff. Chance for them to put pressure on City. Won't be easy that game though.
Yeah.
Then the following week at home to Tottenham. Right? Then they go away to Steven Gerrard's Aston Villa.
Aura, man.
Right? Remember last season they only put the 7 past Liverpool. Can't see it happening this time.
No way. Villa are on our low-key slump that everyone's ignoring.
Yeah, and then the last game of the season, Wolves at home.
Wolves might have nothing to play for by then.
Yeah.
I think Liverpool should win every single game, in my opinion. There should be nothing that...
Yeah, I think the tricky one in there, right, is against you guys.
Chelsea, no?
Oh, that's a final, but that's the final of the FA Cup,
isn't it? Yeah.
But I think the tricky one in there is when they play you guys, because I think with Tottenham, they're one of these teams, right, on the counter. They'll play a similar style to what Everton played.
Yeah. But
if they get the chances that Everton got, they're taking them because you've got better players and you've got killers up front. So...
My thing is we never have any luck whatsoever against Liverpool. And even in the last fixture...
Going to Anfield's tough.
When we played them in the last fixture at home, 2-2, that was us playing at our best with every slice of luck, and we still couldn't beat them.
You went away and you beat Man City away.
Man City's different. Man City, we're almost City's bogey side.
Yeah.
But Liverpool, historically, we've been their whipping boys for the longest time. So I'm not looking forward to that.
All right, this is Man City's running. Of course... They've got a very tough game, but it's at home, the first leg against Real Madrid, but that's going to be in the middle of all this. But next weekend, they go away to Leeds, 5:30 kickoff.
Yeah.
The way Leeds play so open and that, they're made for Man City.
That could be a 6.
They're made for Man City, right? Then this is the rest of their running. They've got Newcastle as well, but at home. Can't see nothing apart from a Man City win. Then they go away to West Ham. We don't know what type of West Ham. It could be a West Ham that is now through to the final of the Europa League, completely out of any top 4 thing and then just resting everybody. So you'd expect City, even with a full West Ham, you'd expect City to win that. And then last game of the season, again, Steven Gerrard could have a say in it because they play Aston Villa at home. But when you look at that, they've got an easier...
Gerrard wants to ever have redemption for the slip moment, there's your opportunity, my friend. Wake up. But I think...
With that run-in, looking at the 2 run-ins, who for you
I think
is going to take it?
City should take it because I don't see any team losing it. I would be very shocked if Liverpool could somehow pull it off. I do think Villa at that last game of the season, Gerrard, you want to do some magic, there's your chance to kind of save your City. But it's Man City's to lose, to be honest. And it always has been this season. But credit to Liverpool this season, honestly, for making a race, because we didn't think we'd get one. And we didn't think they would be the ones involved in it. People were saying United and Chelsea, and they've kind of, rebuilt their squad with the Diaz's, Konates.
What a squad.
It's
I think
amazing.
they've got a better squad than City.
You think so?
Yes.
Pound for pound?
Pound for pound, they've got a better squad than Man. They showed it the other day in the FA Cup. They've got a better squad.
I think City's second squad has been overblown a little bit, similarly like Chelsea's this season. But depth-wise, I'm hearing it. Liverpool definitely are up there.
Listen,
especially in the front line.
And look at the defence.
Centre-backs as well. They rotate them weekly, actually, yeah.
Centre-backs, they still got Konate.
Tsimikas and Robertson on this
Gomez,
side as well.
Right? They got Tsimikas. They got Gomez who can go in for who can fit in for Trent Alexander-Arnold in the midfield.
Elliot,
you know what I mean?
Curtis Jones, youngsters on the bench as well.
Yeah.
Interesting. Make
as
that
well as
poll,
your
actually.
Hendersons, Milners, people like that. And then they got the
front
6
line.
across the front line. Jeez.
No, they're deep. And fair play to them, honestly. Even
got
if
the
they
best
don't
depth
win
for
it,
me.
I think they definitely deserve credit. The only thing it will be a shame where in the last 5 years, City will have won 4. I worry that will Liverpool be kind of overlooked in that period, which is why I kind of am hoping if they don't win the league, they better go and get the Champions League, because that will really put some respect on this era that they've kind of had, and I think it deserves a few more trophies.
And Liverpool have done it without just spending gazillions, isn't it?
Organic growth. That's why I've always said Liverpool, for me, as a Spurs fan, is the blueprint you want to follow. If you're any club that wants to be at the top, look at that blueprint and say, what can I take from that?
Love the channel coming from Egypt. Rob, who wins the Premier League, said Ahmed. I'm going Man City as well. I think looking at that run-in, I just don't see City slipping up. Especially, I just think that Liverpool I could see, even though I think Liverpool probably won't lose a game, but I could see a possibility of maybe a little draw somewhere. It could have happened yesterday.
One of them Palace or Brightons that happened to them earlier in the season.
Ozef says, have you heard of the Somali star, youth product in the Serie A team Sassuolo, sorry. Multiple top 6 sides in the Premier League after his signature.
Ignore that.
Oh, is
I just clocked on the name. No.
Is that? What? I said I'm not reading
because you don't speak the language now, bro. I'll translate that. We ain't reading that.
You know what it is, right? You know what it is? I wasn't going to read out the name anyway because I said to myself, I know you're of Somali heritage, right? So you know.
Reading that name. We ain't reading that.
So that's how they're trying to bait me up now in Somalian as well. Is that how
I'm on to you. I got you, bro. Don't worry. I got your back. Yeah, I think you slick.
Hey, look how they're coming at me now. Look how they're coming at me.
They're trying to find new ways, bro.
Gosh. The relegation battle. Now listen, Norwich are down. They got, as we was just talking about, they got turned over by Newcastle. Great goal by Guimaraes in that little chip. Fantastic goal by him.
Quality signing.
Watford, get battered everywhere they go. That should be the tune. They got absolutely smashed up. They're gone. Norwich on 21 points. Watford on 22. Those two could be confirmed, I think, this week that they're down. The question is, who's going down? It's one out of these 3 that's going to follow down with them. Everton played 32 on 29 points. Burnley played 33, one more on 31 points. Leeds, who play tonight, big game for them, important. They ain't out of it yet. They're on 33 points, played 32, which is one less than Burnley as well. You'd think they should be all right. If they can get the job done tonight, Leeds, I think they're kind of looking safe. But that is a game against Crystal Palace that will not be an easy game.
Vieira's boys.
Away at Palace, that will not be an easy game. But if Leeds could get even a draw out of that, they're going to be looking good. But who's going down? Burnley again, yet again, another big win for Burnley against Wolves. Everybody moaned a couple of weeks ago about Sean Dyche getting sacked. I remember I did a live on it, and what was quite significant to me in that live, because I was kind of straight away sort of saying, surely they should have, Dyche
till the end of the season.
How can they sack him now? He's a fighter. And there was quite a few Burnley fans who came in that chat. And I noticed with them, they weren't all saying that, a lot of them were saying, for what he's done over the years, give him till the end of the season, but then we should get someone else.
Yeah.
I noticed that with literally everyone. None of them were talking about, because I was saying, give him till the end of the season, and even if you do go down, he's a guy who can bring you back.
Yeah, they've been there before, though, twice.
I noticed with the Burnley fans, they were kind of like, nah, we don't.
I can understand that. I think maybe they just wanted a new chapter as well. It's similar, do you remember Tony Pulis when he was at Stoke for a number of years, but then they just
there's a lot of talk that he was kind of losing the dressing room as well. Now, I was chatting with Ty the other day about this. We was having some big argument about this, and he was saying that Burnley are mad. I said, listen, we don't know if it's a bad decision until the end of the season. At the moment, it's starting to look like a good decision.
Bro.
Because since he's gone, They've turned it around.
Ben Mee, the captain, is the manager. That's what's being overlooked in this situation. Him and the under-23 manager, if I'm not mistaken, is his assistant.
Yes.
I'm like, we're setting a dangerous precedent here where people might start looking at it saying, do we even need managers? If the captain's good enough to kind of lead us out of relegation, why don't we just give it to him type of thing? But honestly, if they manage to stay up, fair play to him. And
their last couple results, right? So they had that game where Sean Dyche got sacked after when they lost away to Norwich. But since then, they drew with West Ham.
Away.
Unlucky to lose that game because remember, they missed the penalty, Maxwell Cornet. They beat Southampton at home, and now they've beaten Wolves. They have got a good chance. And then you look at Everton. Who's going down? Let me once again, I'm going to read you the fixtures that they've got coming up, right? So their next game, massive game this, away at Watford.
Yeah.
Massive game.
Then
after that, they've got Villa at home, Tottenham away. Then they play Villa again because remember they had all these games that need to be rearranged.
Yeah.
They've got to then go away and play Villa. And then they finish off the season at home to Newcastle. That is their running, right? And now I'm going to give you Everton's running, right? Everton's running, not easy at all. Everton's running. Next game, home to Chelsea. Away at Leicester. Away at Watford. Home to Brentford. Home to Crystal Palace. And away at Arsenal, last game of the season.
I can't see anything past that, man. For me, I think Everton are going down. And I called it on this show as well a couple months back, saying I think they deserve to go down for the way they've been run over the last couple of years. It's been a gradual decline of bad signings, bad managerial decisions, bad structure at the club. And I think now it's just finally caught up with them. And looking at that fixture list, I can't see them taking anything. Now, yesterday, I thought was the first time where you saw some fight and character from Everton, which maybe gives them hope for maybe some of the home fixtures they've got left. But I can't see them picking up anything. And Burnley have shown experience that they know how to get out of these situations.
Yeah, they're fighters, aren't they?
They're fighters,
Let me just run through Leeds' ones. They got Palace away tonight. Then they got Leeds versus Man City. Can't see them taking anything out of that. Then they got to go to Arsenal. Then they've got Chelsea at home, Brighton at home, and in the last game of the season they go away to Brentford. Don't discount them out of it.
Oh, I thought it was safe. I thought it was safe. That fixture list ain't
That's a tough list.
But there's only one spot up for grabs. That's where they might get away with it, I think, Leeds. And I think
because they've got the points on the board.
And I think
they're 4 points ahead of
Everton,
and
2 points ahead of Burnley, essentially, with a game in hand. But I think they get 1 or 2 draws within that as well.
I got a funny feeling, right? I got a funny feeling Everton won't go.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Nah.
I think it's going to be one of Leeds. I think if Leeds win tonight, they're safe. I think if they don't win tonight, when I look at that running, they could go them or Burnley. You know what it is, right? I just look at Everton, yeah? And I'm looking at their running, right? Let me just go over it again. So, Chelsea at home. I could see them winning that game. At home, Everton are a different Everton to on the road Everton rubbish.
Yeah.
Right? But they've got one of those away games are against Watford. They won't beat Leicester away, I don't think. But they could go and beat Watford away. I could see that. They got Brentford at home. They got Palace at home.
Yeah.
Then they go away to Arsenal. I think it's on those home games
that everything hangs on. Yeah.
Everything
100%.
hangs on. And I think if they could get 3 wins or even 2 wins and a draw out of those games, I think that might be enough.
I don't know. I can't see that. That's the thing. I can't see where the goals are going to come from. I don't see where the creativity
Let's just look at that Leeds running again.
Defensively Everton are so bad for me. I just
tell you what, man, the Leeds
if
running.
Everton somehow survive, and all of a sudden Lampard gets all this.
Yeah, but at home though, at home, when they play at home, they beat Man United last time at home. At home, they're strong. They've beaten us at home.
Harry Maguire tax. I'm sorry.
I don't know, man. I think they're with those Evertonians behind them, and I think the home thing could I'm just
Who
looking.
you calling then? I'm actually curious to hear who you think's getting relegated then.
I'm
Leeds?
looking at this Leeds, man.
I don't know.
If Leeds
I
win-
wouldn't mind that. Jesse Marsh, get him
no.
out of here.
It's a nice trip to Leeds, man. I like Leeds. But you know what? If Leeds win tonight, they're good. They'll be all right. But if they don't win tonight,
If Leeds get relegated, I will be
let me just
shocked.
remind you again, because we're running over time now, so I'm just going to round it up, right? Man City at home, Arsenal away, Chelsea at home,
That's mad.
Brighton at home. Brighton ain't no
That's
mugs, mate, as they
mad,
showed to
yes.
us, yeah? Right? And last game of the season, Brentford away.
That ain't easy either. Trust me.
I think if you're a Leeds fan, you're praying you win tonight, and that ain't easy. Palace, that ain't easy
Palace
either.
away, that's not easy.
So,
Vieira's been on job.
Still a lot to be played for. By the way, the games that we didn't mention, they were all draws. The Leicester game, that was a bit of a boring draw.
Yeah.
And Southampton, they drew with Brighton, and again, Ward-Prowse with yet another one of his worldy. He scored 2 in the game actually, but another worldy free kick, another screamer as well. Some great football over the weekend. Listen, guys, I want to thank you very much for joining us on the roundup. Remember, we're here every single Monday, right? Rounding up the game. I don't think I'll be here next Monday. I might have to try and do a link.
you, bro. You know me.
But I might try and do some sort of link up with you, because I'm going to be over in Nigeria. We're going over there with AFTV. We're going to be over in Nigeria next weekend.
Love that.
Watching the game with a load of fans. We're going to have content here on DR as well, so look out for that as well. Meeting football fans all over the world. That's what we're trying to do.
Global, baby.
Global, man. Global, man.
Love that.
Right? But Fuad, I want to thank you very much.
Always, man.
Listen,
Love
for
being
coming on. Well done with the watch-alongs yesterday. Absolutely brilliant. Big watch-alongs this week. Tuesday night, Real Madrid versus Chelsea. That's going to be massive. And then on Wednesday, it's Liverpool's turn. So 2 big games to check out. Liverpool versus Villarreal.
Crunch
And some massive games coming up this weekend. It's crunch time in everything now. Man United versus Chelsea on Thursday as well. Huge games all over. Man United versus Chelsea, what's your prediction in that?
I expect Chelsea. I think United, they're too much. They're in holiday mode right now.
Chelsea are not playing great either.
Chelsea are not playing great. They're in kind of limbo mode as well. But I feel like after the past couple of weeks, they've kind of got to get some respect back on their badge a little bit. It's been a little bit murky at home. Yesterday, they kind of pulled it through, but United are in free fall at the minute.
So you think Chelsea?
Chelsea, yeah, comfortable.
Even
Even
though
though Chelsea haven't beaten United since 2017.
Yeah,
Mad stat I heard
I'm
yesterday.
going to go for, because they're at home, I'm going to go for United. No, draw. I'm going to go for a draw, actually, in that game. And your Champions League predictions, just before we go there. City versus Real Madrid.
I think it's going to be a City-Liverpool final. That's the only way I can see it. I'd love Madrid to get there, but I just can't see it. They did nice to get over Chelsea, but City will deal with them, I think.
All right, and Liverpool-Villarreal?
Villarreal's story comes to an end here. Similarly like 05 and 06, English team will end it in the semi-finals. It'll be remembered as a nice story, but Liverpool deserve that Champions League final trip, I think.
Yeah, I can't disagree with either of those. But guys, want to hear from you guys and let us know. But listen, thank you very much for joining us today for the roundup. Don't forget to subscribe here to DR Sports. Like this video as well. And Fuad, tell them where they can check you out.
YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Fuad Kadani, and then Stoppage Time TV as well at 360 TV. Make sure you check that out.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.